Thank you very much, Secretary Ray Chua, for your introduction. I'd also like to thank Mayor Tommy Osmeña for your kind words of welcome to your city. To acknowledge also Governor Gwen Garcia and the province of Cebu, who are partners with Ayala in this development project here. Of course, Mr. Monera, Mr. Belen, thank you for your presentation. I'd like to introduce, aside from Ray Chua, the other members of the cabinet who are here. We have our new press secretary, Chris Exban. We have Secretary Boboy Sihuko, whose TESDA has been invaluable in developing the manpower for the ICT and BPO industry. And Secretary Rick Saludo, our spokesperson, aside from being the executive director of the Reconstruction Commission on Typhoons Ondoy, Pepeng, and Frank, which fortunately does not have to include Cebu in the reconstruction. Members of the media, whom we especially invited to be here today, you are actually the guests of honor because we're doing this for you, making this presentation. IT executives, especially our hosts from Qualfon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy to be here in Cebu City. We always talk about Cebu as the most popular destination for foreign tourists in our country. But you are two things, not just the most popular destination for foreign tourists in our country, but number one, the Tholon's list of emerging cities for IT and BPO. So congratulations. And so today, for once, we are not here as a tourist. We are here on a tour, but a tour of the super regions, again, not the tourism super region of which you are a part, but of the cyber tourism region. But just to refresh everyone's mind, our super regions are Agribusiness Mindanao, Tourism Central Philippines, of which Cebu is such an important part, the North Luzon Agribusiness Quadrangle, the Urban Luzon Beltway, and the Cyber Corridor, which we now want to stress, Cebu is also an integral part. We designed these super regions to spread development away from an inequitable concentration in Manila. The Cyber Corridor was identified by the private sector, the academia, and the government together as the corridor that comprises the strongest potential and actual locations for ICT investments, like call centers, back office, software development, medical transcription, and engineering design, animation, and game development. It includes 10 urban areas being promoted as new destinations for ICT: Metro Laguna, Metro Cavite, Iloilo, Davao, Bacolod, Metro Pampanga, Metro Bulacan, Cagayan de Oro, Central Bulacan, and Lipa. And of course, the two original Philippine ICT centers of excellence, Manila and Cebu. But I should say, as far as Tolons is concerned, they have listed among the top 50 Quezon City, Pasig, and Mandaluyong. But they listed number 1, Cebu City. So I should say Cebu City and Metro Manila. So to be in the survey of the top 50 emerging global outsourcing destinations, and as Mr. Belen pointed out, better than many of those world capitals that we all read about in the front pages. And why do they put Cebu as number 1? According to Tolons, it's mainly due to the scale and quality of the workforce, of the modern infrastructure, of the business catalysts, of the risk profile, and the cost and quality of life. So that is why we should not be surprised that there are now, 70, I was surprised, outsourcing and offshoring companies here. I knew there were more than 50, but 70 is a very big number, employing more than 20,000 individuals. It is attractive to investors because of the high quality of the graduates from 9 universities and 50 colleges. And because also our administration has invested in or promoted the necessary infrastructure support to create a better business environment for Cebu. Aside from miles and miles of roads, there is now 3/4 completed, a 200 megawatt power plant expected to be finished next year. And as we can see from this IT Asia town, Class A facilities are available to accommodate BPO IT locators in Cebu. I was supposed to sign today, ceremonially, the Cebu Business Park. That would be still another location. But the paperwork wasn't completed. So anyway, that's another one upcoming. And when entering this and entering that, I'm sure when it is completed, it's really like entering the first world, isn't it? It's so world-class. Congratulations to Cebu. Mr. Belen said, he pointed out about your industry, how it's gone a long way since early 2001. And indeed, I can say that about the entire Philippines. The Philippines has come a long way since January 2001. Most of you probably don't remember much about that time anymore, the tumultuous time 10 years ago. Many of you may have forgotten that at that time, the nation was on the brink of political chaos and financial bankruptcy, that the economy was jammed in reverse, that few investments were being made, that few jobs were being created. And maybe many are not aware that at that time, the debt of the government and its corporations of 3.6 trillion pesos was bigger than our GDP of 3.3 trillion pesos. There were almost no foreign reserves. It was a time of lower salaries and high prices. Tax revenues were so low that we could hardly invest in expanding healthcare, improving education, and providing clean water and needed electricity to remote barangays. Into this dismal picture we stepped. I didn't seek the office of the president in 2001. It was thrust upon me. But rather than shirk from this onerous task, we rolled up our sleeves, determined to turn the Philippines around. We were focused like a laser beam on delivering real results to better the lives of ordinary Filipinos. As an economist, I knew that to reverse years of economic decline, we had to instill fiscal discipline, grow the economy, and invest in human and physical infrastructure, like roads. Like I remember that road to the south, from Cebu to Santander. My grandfather built that road when he was working for at that time, the American administration. And when I came here in 2001, it was so ugly. So I decided, no, 2004. 2004, we started constructing that road. Now it's not an ugly road anymore. It's a beautiful road. And then the Cansaga Bridge, which is going to make the northern part of Cebu also very accessible, especially given that the second biggest employer in the country is there, Mitsumi in Danao City. It used to be the biggest employer. It's now the second because it got beaten by a BPO, Teletech. It's now the biggest employer in our country. And then we also built the Roro Nautical Highway System. So these things, all these actions would form the building blocks of a turnaround that would deliver an unprecedented 36 quarters of uninterrupted growth, create 9 million new jobs, and 53 million people, add 53 million people to healthcare with government coffers that helped us withstand the global economic crisis. In my first State of the Nation address in 2001, after your very important ICT conference here in Cebu City,